And as Friday's clashes unfolded across LA, there was a familiar face, maybe one that you wouldn't expect, who was embedded with ICE agents during Friday's raids. It was Dr. Phil and his camera crew who say that they got a first-hand look at the targeted operations, which ended with dozens of people being detained. He's expected to use that footage in an upcoming report, reinforcing a made-for-TV spectacle that is Trump's controversial crackdown.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. As if things couldn't get any more interesting in these Los Angeles raids by ICE, we have Mr. Phil, Dr. Phil himself, embedded in the ICE agents, trying to get a story to exploit. Let's see what CNN is reporting on this issue.
CNN chief media analyst Brian Stelter with us now. Brian, why was he there? And it's something that's highly unusual.
I think it really speaks volumes about the administration's made-for-TV strategy here. They are focused on the visual spectacle, and not just this week. We could actually see it back in the first week Trump returned to office. Dr. Phil was out in Chicago. He was embedded back then on ICE raids. This time, he was embedded at the ICE field office in LA, hanging out with Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, getting what Dr. Phil's network calls exclusive access to Homan the day before the operation. Then on Friday morning, he was there, I was told, maybe even helping rally the federal officials before they headed out for the operation. And then he was with Homan again on Saturday. So as I wrote on CNN.com, Dr. Phil was out there producing a show that's going to air on his relatively small cable channel today and tomorrow. It's not about the ratings ultimately, it's about what this represents. And it represents a desire to put on a show, especially for Trump-aligned media outlets. There's a desire to show this immigration enforcement is happening. It's happening every day. And Dr. Phil is a part of that effort to televise it for the country.
Any of you surprised that Dr. Phil will cash in, exploit these raids? We all knew what he was about when he got on that stage and showed his 100% support of Donald Trump last fall, just like Elon Musk. Dr. Phil is one of them. He's MAGA. Let's never forget that. I hope Oprah Winfrey is saying to him behind the scenes that you're a disgrace, Dr. Phil. You can say that you're not supporting these raids, but we know better. You're not just trying to report it. You're not being a journalist. You're cashing in on something you support. You're giving pep talks behind the scenes. We're going to move on to see a real family that's being impacted by these raids in Los Angeles. This is what it really feels like from their side. Take a look at this one.
What happened that day was a very traumatizing scene. I witnessed how they put my father in handcuffs, chained him from the waist and from his ankles.
Ayúdenos, por favor. Ayude a nuestra gente a salir donde están. Se lo pedimos, por favor. Que la voz de nosotros llegue a donde tiene que llegar para liberar a nuestra gente, porque muchos de nosotros no sabemos dónde están, qué está pasando con ellos. Un muchachito ya fue deportado.
Lo más difícil y doloroso es que mis hijos extrañan a su papá. Él es el único sostén económico que tenemos en nuestro hogar.
I really do feel bad for those families. I really do. I can only imagine waking up one day and my mother or father or child is no longer there. They're being taken away to a different country. I surely wish that some of these people would have been more informed and more educated on what Donald Trump and his regime was up to before this election, and they could have voted accordingly. But so many of these people just could not vote for Kamala Harris for whatever reasons it was. And this is the turmoil and the pain that we are witnessing that they are having among themselves and their families right now because of their vote. The midterms are coming next year, everyone. You can vote the Republicans out and put the Democrats back into office, the ones who were trying to help your families, the ones who put in temporary protective status, the ones who were trying to write new laws for the DACA recipients. But for some reason, y'all refused that party. It was the party that was going to help you. So we're going to see if you really do want change. When it's time to vote in the midterms next year, we'll see if you'll vote the Republicans out and put the party back in that was trying to help your families. Next up, I have a story that's kind of really a good story, but I don't know if it's true yet. So take it with a grain of salt. But this short video is of some of our veterans that are supposed to be going out and marching against these ICE raids, against the military being there, is what they claim that they're going to be against. Is yet to be seen, but just take a look at this. This would be extraordinary if you can see veterans going face to face with active military, basically saying to them that you should not be doing what you're doing. Take a look at this one.
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wouldn't that be something if America's finest, our veterans, would step up to the plate and try to make a difference in this ongoing situation out in California? I hate to see Los Angeles, California, one of our greatest cities and one of our greatest states in the union, having this happen to their city. I really am sorry that this is happening, but this is who we have in office right now, this wannabe dictator, and he's going to do what he can to put himself on the world stage with the likes of Vladimir Putin and some of the other dictators around the world. Unfortunately, this is who we are right now, America. Okay, next up, I'm going to leave you guys with a clip of Governor Gavin Newsom, who's been threatened with arrest by Tom Homan, the Homeland Security Secretary, and he's going to push back. He's going to let him know, hey, do what you have to do, man, but leave the kids alone. And after that, we'll just end up with some of the latest video pictures from the raids going on out in California, the raids and the protests. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks again, once again, for tuning into the channel. Like and subscribe, please. Share this with your friends. We all need to keep up with the news as much as we can. And I'm doing my best to bring you some of the news as often as I can. Help me out here and subscribe to the channel. Thanks a lot. See you next time.
You've also mentioned Mayor Karen Bass and Governor Gavin Newsom, and there have been threats, previously that if you stand in the way of your enforcement operations, you could be subject potentially to arrest. Are you saying that about Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom? Are they at risk of being arrested?
I'll say it about anybody. You cross that line.
He's a tough guy. Why doesn't he do that? He knows where to find me. But you know what? Lay your hands off 4-year-old girls that are trying to get educated. Lay your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes. Been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. I don't give a damn.
Okay, right off the top, let's start with those anti-ICE protests erupting in cities across the country now. Protests no longer just in California. We're looking at Austin, Texas, where police deployed tear gas to disperse a group of protesters. Further north, in Dallas, officers in tactical gear faced off with demonstrators there. Video bottom left in Boston, a rally outside City Hall Plaza with signs that read "Massachusetts stands with our neighbors" in Los Angeles. And then in the Northern California community of San Francisco, at least one business decided to board things up just in case things get violent there. But here's the latest in the city at the center of it all, Los Angeles, California. 700 active duty Marines are now boots on the ground in LA. In addition to that, the military says they will mobilize another 2,000 National Guard members to respond to protests. They are, by the way, set to join the 2,000 who are already on the ground in the city as of this moment. Now, as of Monday, the LAPD says 50 people were arrested over the weekend following those much publicized violent clashes that stretched across the 101 freeway. Meanwhile, California's Governor Gavin Newsom and President Donald Trump ramping up their feud. The president calling out Newsom and touching on the unrest in LA while taking questions from the Oval Office last hour. Here's a little bit of that.
They developed the Insurrection Act to deal with the situation in California.
If there's an insurrection, I would certainly invoke it. We'll see, but I can tell you last night was terrible. The night before that was terrible. We have, as you've seen, it was on most of your networks, people with big, heavy hammers pounding the concrete and pounding curbs, pounding it, breaking up and handing these big chunks of concrete to people. And they were taking that concrete, going up on bridges and dropping it into the roof of a car. They were throwing it at our police. They were throwing it at our soldiers that are there. And we got it stopped, and we have them in custody right now. Look, if we didn't get involved, right now, Los Angeles would be burning, just like it was burning a number of months ago with all the houses that were lost. Los Angeles right now would be on fire, and we have it in great shape. We're not playing around.
CBS News correspondent Elise Preston joins us now for what she's seeing there in the neighborhoods. You know, President Trump there said that some of those protesters are paid protesters. So I guess a two-part question. Is there any evidence of that? And what are you seeing on the ground at this hour in LA?
Well, Reed, at this hour, everything appears to be calm and peaceful. We are right outside the federal building that we staked out yesterday when we saw you last. And you can see that the streets have opened up. There's traffic that is flowing. It's a very different scene. When we spoke to you about 24 hours ago, we did see kind of police blocking off this street here, and there were some protesters who were kind of lolling around the federal building, but we do not see that today. If you go straight back behind me, you will see about 5 or 6 National Guardsmen kind of standing out front. They do have their tactical gear, but that's it. Right now, we don't see any protesters. We have seen people drive by just in the normal flow of traffic, and you might see them waving flags, but outside of that, we haven't seen a large presence of protesters. To answer your question about evidence of agitators, we can tell you that for the most part, most of the folks who have been out here have been peaceful, but it does appear that there were people over the last several days who did seem like they were more involved in agitating, or that they had more interest in agitating officers and law enforcement out here than actually protesting and demonstrating like the other people. Mayor Karen Bass has also spoken to that. She said that, you know, people who are out in the streets in pockets of LA who are looting and inciting violence, they do not care about immigrants. That is what the mayor has said. But for the most part, when you look at the sheer number of people who are demonstrating, for the most part, they have been peaceful.
Well, and I come from rural America, and so I have an ear to so many people who watch these scenes on national television in rural America, people who may not understand just how huge LA is. And so I think you really use the right terms when you say pockets of LA. This is not the entire city of Los Angeles burning or having these circumstances or situations. These are very specific areas of LA. Regardless, though, President Donald Trump knows that those people and the national audience see this, and so he is sending in 700 Marines. They arrived in LA today. We're now on day 5 of these protests. Officials are preparing for the same level of unrest this afternoon and into this evening. Do you know of any coordination on the other side to try to keep this calm as we get towards the afternoon and evening hours?
Well, I can tell you, Reed, that local and state officials are urging people to remain calm. They are saying that, you know, this is a national audience, and if things get out of hand, that is what President Trump wants. So they're asking people to remain calm. And so last night we saw a fourth night of protest. And while there was some chaos that erupted, there were flare-ups, and we did see flashbangs and rubber bullets used, it was the most calm, I guess, relatively so, in comparison to the other nights. We did not see the stretches of tension that we saw in the first 3 nights. I can tell you that, you know, we were here early afternoon, late evening, and police officers, it was Los Angeles police officers, not federal agents, who pushed people out of this area. They moved them about the next 2-3 blocks. And so people were kind of, they were hanging out there, they were protesting there. And so at moments, more local officers would move in and ask people to disperse. Some people did, others did not. And after a while, those that did not disperse, they were detained, they were taken into custody.
CBS News correspondent Elise Preston, thank you so much. Be safe there. We appreciate you. So let's.
I ask you guys to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you.